Welcome to a new fragrance review. Today we're going to try Sintra by Memo. So I got a sample of the fragrance and it came in that nice little box that I got from the brand. I already showed it to you in the last video where I tried inlay. If you want to see the whole presentation, take a look at this. One thing that I haven't done last video is to show you in the little book, there's the story of the people that made that line of fragrance, and I'm gonna read it for you. And it says, launched in 2007 by Clara Molloy and her husband John, Memo sees fragrance as a journey, building its identity around magnetic destination and intense raw material, with natural ingredients of beautiful quality, a desire to go elsewhere and to meet people in the image of the founding couple. She, Parisian poet, and Catalan, he, Irish globetrotter and sportman. Discover here some of her iconic fragrance. And this week the fragrance I'm having is Inlay. There's a little picture, Inlay, I mean Sintra, and there's a little picture of the bottle and a little text that come with it. It says, sweet spiral. Around the corner from a palace, an unexpected rainforest, like a reminiscence of childhood with notes of orange blossom, vanilla, and marshmallow musk. Sintra has a very round floral and fruity sweetness, a deliciously light, resolutely addictive, a soft and colorful walk. Let's try to smell. So as I spray it in the air, there's already a lot of sweetness, some marshmallow, and a lot of neroli and orange blossom. I don't know if you ever smelled orange flower water, but if you did, there's definitely that smell inside of it. I don't know if there's orange flower water or if it's just the ingredients, the way it's made, that smells like it, but there's that note. The closer I get to the paper, the more that orange flower water smell or orange blossom note is intense. As I said, I'm picking up some neroli. I'm picking up some bergamot also. Picking up some petit grain note. Picking up some red fruit note. I'm picking up some milk. It's really soft, really as an undertone of the notes that I'm picking up. Picking up some vanilla. But I would say that vanilla that I'm picking up doesn't smell like pure vanilla. I would say it smells like that, like a vanilla ice cream. I would say that there's some resinous aspect a little bit as an undertone in the fragrance. And I know that there's a resin note in the note breakdown, but I wouldn't say at that point that it's a resin note. It's more of an aspect of the fragrance. That's pretty much what I'm picking up on the paper. Seems like a mix of a gourmand fragrance and a green floral fragrance. Really well blended together. On my skin, what I'm picking up, the strongest note is the orange blossom. It's really what is the heart of the fragrance. And the top, I'm picking up also a lot of neroli, a little bit of marshmallow, a little bit of cinnamon, a little bit of jasmine, a little bit of rose, and a little bit of bergamot. Fragrance is really fresh in the opening. There's still a lot of sweetness, but it's more of a fresh fragrance. As it dries down, the orange blossom note is still there, still present, but it's not really powerful as it was. The neroli, it's completely disappeared. Other notes that are really strong in the heart are vanilla and caramel. I would say they are as strong as the orange blossom at that point. I'm also picking up some marshmallow, some milk, some jasmine, and some rose. And I'm picking up something that is not quite cinnamon, but I would say that it's that cinnamon note, but something a little bit spicy that's really soft in the fragrance. How I would describe the heart of the fragrance at this point is really more of a sweet fragrance. And I don't know if it will make sense to a lot of people, but there's something that is called, from French, it's combat caramel or caramel de combat, which basically is like a powdered creamer that you would put in coffee and some sugar. And both of them, like, I don't know if it's still the case, but when I was in the cadet and we were having the army ration that they would use to go on the field, in that there was a little like coffee kit where there was some coffee, some creamer, some sugar, and they were coming in a pouch. And that combat caramel was basically those two ingredients, the creamer and the sugar, that you would just eat like that together. And it tasted a little bit like vanilla, a little bit like caramel, but it's basically sugar and I don't know how synthetic, but like some coffee colorant that doesn't have any ingredient on it. And hard to explain like it. Why sugar in like milk tastes somehow vanilla, and well, caramel, it's obvious because it's sugar, to have that little taste. If you know what I'm talking about, the taste it has is what it smells. Best way I can describe it. If you don't know exactly, I hope it still gives you an idea of how it smells in the heart. And in the base note, I'm picking up some marshmallow and some milk, but it's really like soft and it's kind of disappearing from the fragrance. It's more like what's kind of left in the fragrance, a little impact of those ingredients still there, but not strong enough to be proper note. At that point, what I'm picking up the most is vanilla, caramel, and resins. Picking up some musk, I'm picking up some cedar, and I'm also picking up some amber. And I don't know why there's no amber that's written, but if you just look at the ingredients, it makes sense that there's something ambery to it with the notes, but I'm definitely having some amber. And for me, this fragrance, I would say it falls in the same category as Pink Sugar by Aquilina, and it's obviously way better quality, but it falls in that category. I think if you like that fragrance, probably like Sintra. Even though I say that it smells like a fragrance that is typically feminine, this one is, I would say it's more unisex. A man can easily pull it off, but it's really sweet. I would say the fragrance, it reminds me the most of Olympia Intense. And on Fragrantica, I don't see anyone giving that comparison, but I assume that people that buy Memo Paris fragrance, they don't buy Paco Rabanne fragrance, and that's why. The opening doesn't remind me it, but the whole heart and base of the fragrance remind me Olympia Intense. Even though it reminds me, those two fragrances, I would say that the quality is really good, really high. Of course, there's some smell that's obviously some aroma chemical that created, like marshmallow and milk. It's not something you can just put this in a fragrance, but there's a lot of natural stuff. That orange water note that I'm telling you, it smells super natural. All the things that are natural stuff, they smell really natural. For the projection, it's average, little bubble around me. People were able to pick it up. I would say that it was like a good average. It was pretty easy for people to notice it from that distance. Longevity was pretty good. It was 12 plus hour. After 12 hours, usually I don't calculate it, but it lasted a long time. For the complete note breakdown, top notes are Neroli, Petit Grain, Red Fruit, and Bergamot. Heart notes are Milk, Orange Blossom, Resin, Cinnamon, Jasmine, and Rose. And the base notes are Marshmallow, Vanilla, Caramel, Musk, and Cedar. And where I would see this fragrance, for me, it will be a really bad business fragrance. I would say maybe if you're a woman, it could work, especially if you're a younger woman, because of its sweetness. But there's a little something that's elegant and natural in it, mostly those floral notes. So for a woman could pull it off as a business fragrance, but a man definitely couldn't. Too sweet. As a dating fragrance, it will be really good. I think it's where it will shine the most. It's nice, it's sweet, that little like food-like smell. It's really nice. Still smell natural, still smell quality. It's really distinctive, so it will be doing a good job. It's really where it will shine at its best. In the summer-winter spectrum, I would say it will be more in between. It might be a bit too heavy for summer. Might not cut it through the cold in the winter. I would say it will probably be better toward the winter than in summer. And as an everyday fragrance, I don't think it will be good. Maybe for a woman, it will be good. For men, I don't think it will be good for many reasons. First of all, it's really expensive, this fragrance. So maybe you have the money and you don't mind, then it's okay, but it's still an expensive fragrance. So for most people, it's not a good choice. Also, the smell is really sweet, it's really bold, so it's not quite the kind of fragrance that will fit in that category. Though the longevity is good and the projection is good and the smell is nice, the smell also is not that kind of smell, but it's still nice. So that's why it could work, but it's definitely not that type of fragrance. Finally, I think it's a really good fragrance, more than the other fragrance that I smelled from that brand. It's worth it. I compared it to Olympia, and it's a good way to compare it. If I go with Pink Sugar, Olympia, and this one. If you tried both the other fragrance, that's gonna give you a good idea. And you can compare it to other fragrance. So Pink Sugar is really cheap and synthetic. It's really sweet. Still smell nice, but it's really cheap and synthetic. And when you smell it, the ingredients smell cheap and synthetic. Olympia, it smells good, but it smells with average ingredient. It doesn't smell like there's super fancy stuff, like things that are expensive. But in this one, it smells like there's natural ingredient. There are things that are, I don't know, probably there are things that are expensive. The blend is way more interesting, way better made. Seems like there's a lot of thought behind this fragrance. It was made for the art. It was made with good ingredient, with love of perfumery, more than the two other fragrances that are made just for making something that smells good and that sells. One was made to make something great. And I think there's a lot of fragrance that will do this. There will be a cheap version, like average, and a niche version. And this is how I would see it. So, hope you enjoyed the video. If it's the case, well, like and share. If you tried this fragrance before, tell me what you think about it. Also, if you're a fan of Memo, tell me what you think about the brand. So, thanks for watching, and see you soon.